Hello, welcome back. This is Adrienne with Hamilton Homestead. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's an absolutely glorious sunny day here in South Dakota. It is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. My goodness, it's been 10 days since I showed you our germination station setup and the seeds that we started on February 23rd. I know this time of year just gets busy for everyone, and like you, we like to take advantage of every sunny day to get outside and check a few of those spring projects off of our list. And then next thing you know, it's like 2 weeks down the road. So today I'll show you an update on the germination station and those seedlings that we started. And then we'll come back out here to the greenhouse and I'll show you what's been going on out here. I do need to do some up potting today, and in a few minutes I'll explain to you my method for up potting that I think produces the most exceptional root system, which of course is the foundation for a healthy plant and a bountiful harvest. So very important. Anyway, I need to do some up potting, so I've got things set up back here and I'll bring you along for a little bit of that. But in the meantime, let's get going on this update.
And here is the germination station. As you can see, I have maxed it out with trays. I will put a link in the description to my previous video detailing how this germination station is set up and explaining why I grow so many seedlings. But here is a general outline of how I use this setup and a small greenhouse to grow hundreds of seedlings from my home. The first wave of seedlings I start in the germination station are the cold hardy plants like onions and cabbage and herbs and perennial flowers, and even hardy annual flowers. Once these plants are in 2 to 4 inch pots, they are moved to the greenhouse to make room for the second wave of seedlings, which are the less hardy vegetables and flowers that benefit from being started very early, like peppers and leafy greens and a host of flowers. I've already moved some of the first seedlings to the greenhouse and now have most of the second wave of seedlings started. The third wave of seedlings in the germination station are the tender and fast-growing vegetables and flowers like tomatoes and zucchini, cucumbers, and zinnias. Once those seedlings are in 2 to 4 inch pots, they will be moved to the greenhouse as well. At this point, the greenhouse will be pretty full, and I will begin moving plants outside as weather permits. It's a whole lot of shifting, but it produces healthy, hardy, and robust plants. Exactly what we need in our Zone 5B, very short 140-day growing season.
Okay, quick tour. Petunias, hot peppers, annual flowers, onions, peppers, popcorn plant, and those tumbler tomato plants, a tray of herbs and ornamental cabbage, my cucumber, a few more herbs, more ornamental flowers, and here are the Survival Seeds 2025 herbs. To the right is the oregano, the center is lemon bulb, and the left is the hyssop. And they are doing great. I had superior germination, and the plants are robust and just doing super. And then I've got some more tumbler tomatoes and some more flowers going on back there. So it's looking great, you guys. It's going to be a fantastic growing season. Okay, let's go out to the greenhouse and I'll give you a tour of what's going on there. Okay, one of those spring projects I was talking about. The big stump under that little raised end of the little deck made it very awkward to put anything there, so that's covered and level. I have a little entryway into the greenhouse now, so I can go from the greenhouse into the main house without tracking mud anymore, which is a big bonus. Okay, let's get in here. Okay, one of those spring projects that we're going to try and get done very soon is put a window in this door and also an exhaust fan inside the greenhouse. And then it'll be pretty much done in here. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, John built this greenhouse. It's 10 by 12 shortly after we moved in last year. So this is my first time using a stick-built greenhouse. My previous greenhouses were those soft-sided kits with arched ceilings and the sloped walls. My first one was a 6x8. Then we moved up in size to an 8x12. And these units were a good price point for our fixed income, and I grew a lot of seedlings out of them. They served me very well. So I'm feeling very blessed and grateful for this stick-built greenhouse. I was never able to like have a hanging pot line up like that. And I couldn't have like raised beds inside of it. Because my greenhouses were so small, and the slope in the wall started very low to the ground. So, I really couldn't do this sort of thing. So after I get all of these, these mini greenhouses out of here, and, I'll be growing my peppers in here and a few tomato plants. And I'm going to have hanging tomato baskets in some of the hanging pots. Okay, so I found these are just little mini greenhouses, and I found them on Amazon several years ago. And I'll tell you what, they have more than paid for themselves over the years. They break down super easy. I store both of them in like one, average size tote, and they're very easy to set up. Besides using them inside my greenhouse, they also serve as frames for bug netting in my garden beds. I love to grow cabbage, but I get that white moth and they just destroy the cabbage plants. But if I cover them with that bug netting, I have great success growing cabbage, and these frames are perfect for that application. Anyway, I just put those seeds in the other day. I did not think that they would germinate until I moved them inside. I just staged them out here until I get my up potting done, and then I was intended to move these inside to germinate, but they're going to town already. Anyway, these hold 4 trays. The only thing I use to heat them is these heat mats. This one has 2 heat mats, and that one over there has 3 heat mats. And when I close them at night, they stay at 60 to 65 degrees in here. Even though the temperature of this greenhouse is whatever the ambient temperature is outside. And this time of year, we're still going below freezing. I think the other night we got down to 28 degrees. So to be able to keep these trays out here under these mini greenhouses at 60 degrees with just those heat mats is really, really economical. And these hanging baskets, John found these at Sam's, and I tell you what I like about them. They hold the moisture well, but they also drain well, and they're large enough that I can grow a really nice flowering plant, like a nice big petunia, or I've grown the tumbler tomatoes in here, and that's just as beautiful to me as a petunia plant. To have a healthy, thriving, vibrant green tomato plant with the red or yellow fruit on it is just gorgeous. And here I'm getting ready to do some up potting, so I will show you how I do that and explain why I do it the way I do it.
Okay, let's talk root development. I germinate my seeds in 50 to 72 cell trays, and when they're ready to up pot, I gradually step them up in pot size, which means I generally up pot twice before they are ready for in-ground planting. But I get strong, vigorous, and very healthy root systems without fail. And I use this principle for all the seedlings I grow. Annuals, perennials, cold hardy, or tender, fast-growing plants, it works. Now, besides the space-saving benefits of starting the germination phase in small pot cells, there's another very important benefit, And that is healthy root development, which in my view, along with the health of your soil, is one of the most important factors for plant development and growth. Now, here's why I think this works so well. When the seed germinates and begins root development, the roots spread out in order to support the growing plant. That's pretty fundamental, and we all get that part. But when those initial roots find the sides of the pot, which is sort of the end of the road for the root, it encourages the plant to generate new root growth, leading to the development of the seedling's full root and shoot system. If you start your seeds in a 50 to 72 cell tray, this root development is greatly enhanced over starting your seeds in a 5-inch pot or even a 2-inch pot or those very popular solo cups. Most of the plants I grow, I start in a 72 cell tray and will be in a 3 to 5-inch pot before they are ready to be planted in the ground. But I will up pot many of them 2 times before they reach their final pot size. And again, I do that to produce a strong root system. I pop the seedling out of the small cell and look at the root system. If it's well developed and it holds its shape and you can see roots on all sides, it's time to move it up a pot size, but no more than double the current pot size, and allow it to do the same thing in the new pot. It's more labor to step up slowly in a pot size, but a minor step when you consider the Herculean task of caring for an unhealthy, sickly, low-performing plant and trying to coax a meager harvest from it. Now, germinating seeds in bulk trays is not my preferred way to start seedlings because the root systems just don't develop well. But I did bulk germinate this tumbler tomato variety, and you can see the lack of root system that I'm dealing with. Even though the plant is fairly robust and large, the roots are sparse and thin and weak. Fortunately, it's early and they will rebound and catch up. It is a tomato after all. If you have a preferred way to germinate and grow your seedlings, please let us know in the comments. This community of gardeners has many years of experience to share, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this year's garden season brings you much joy. Until next time, may you be blessed, stay grateful, and continue building a life you love.